coming into this game after a 2-0 loss at Unterhaching on Friday evening. Both goals being conceded in the second half there. And they're poor at home. Only one win here all season in this fantastic stadium. As away we go with Kaiserslautern kicking off all in red. 1860 in the black here. And it's going to be a tough fixture for Kaiserslautern, you fear, up against an 1860 team who had a little wobble until the weekend and took out their frustrations on Waldhof Mannheim. A 5-0 win there. A tremendous start from Sascha Mulders in that game, scoring a hat-trick in 27 minutes. Steinhardt completing the scoring with a double there. So their tails are high. They came 8th last season, hoping for promotion this time out, and they're currently 5th, just in behind the leading Lights. They're hoping to push their way up there. After tonight's game, then coach Michael Kullner, he's led a revival of the club since he took over. And they could go second if results go their way. This evening they do have the best attack in the Dritte Liga. And they're up against an injury-ravaged Kaiserslautern. In fact, they've got Alex Winkler in for his debut at centre-back. Kraus dropping to the bench. And Shifchi as well, dropping out from the weekend after breaking his nose against Unterhaching. Add that to the likes of Shad, Skalatidis and Spalvis all being out. And it's pretty difficult times for Sabina. Well, last time here at home they drew 2-2 against Duisburg. I had the pleasure of commentating that game and they trailed by 2-0 coming into the final minute before Poirier scored a late double there. So you can't take your eyes off this game until right at the end. Kaiserslautern are battling relegation and battling right to the end of their games in the 90 minutes. And just as a reminder, last season between these two here in June, after the restart, well, it was a 1-1 draw. Rosa for Kaiserslautern and Lex for 1860. So we're already 2.5 minutes into the game. It's been pretty even so far. No real chances to speak of as yet, but a deep free kick here for Kaiserslautern in their own half. And it comes, and that will float all the way through to Hiller. And they need better delivery than that, even from those deep areas. 1860 are decent away from home, only conceding 8 goals so far. Winning 3, drawing 2 and losing 2. And they'll be hoping that Sascha Mulders can get into double figures tonight. He's on 9 goals at the moment after that hat-trick at the weekend. As we see Moll here moving forward through midfield. This is Sascha Mulders now. Just trying to drive his way through the defence. A lovely ball out to the left here. Just dropping it over the top. Rieder getting back there to help out the defence. And the clearance from Kleinsorger. And out of play here for the throw to 1860s. They're looking to build up a bit of momentum here early on in the game. Erdmann out towards the left-hand side. For Steinhardt back into the centre. 5th minute here as Vilush gets on the ball. Looking for a long ball now down the centre up to Mulders. That's tremendous hold-up play. Popping it out towards the left here. And that's a bad tackle on the edge of the box. Which way is the referee going to decide here? Could this be an early red for Kaiserslautern? Well, they were in on goal there, 1860, and Mulders, you can see, can't believe it, as the yellow card his flash towards Bachmann there. Well, it was very, very clumsy indeed from the Kaiserslautern defender. Gets himself in a right angle here. Oh dear, oh dear. In my opinion, that could easily have been a red there. Greilinger, it was breaking onto that ball from Mulders, but 1860, at least they've got themselves the free kick here, right on the edge of the box. You can see how close that is to being a penalty. Just over 5 minutes played, and the first big opportunity here for the visitors. Neudecker stands over it. Short run up, and it's into the back of the net. That's a terrific free kick. 1-0, 1860. Well, the shortest of run-ups there, but he clipped it over the wall and got it back under the bar. Fantastic technique. Goalkeeper just getting a hand to it there. And into the top corner in the end. Spajic with no chance really. It's the wall side. He has to trust the wall, and they didn't do their job there. So Neudecker with his third of the season. A fantastic free kick with his left peg. And the struggles of Kaiserslautern go on here. I feel they're cursed here at the Betzenberg. Home record over the last couple of seasons just hasn't been good enough. And suddenly there's a break on here for Poirier, perhaps. But getting back well there was Balka here. So in the end, 1860 were rewarded for that break forward. That potential red card. Against the defender. But the free kick, an absolute peach into the top corner, so they won't be complaining too much about the referee's decision on the card. I'm sure that Sasha Mulders will be in the ref's ear throughout this first half. Still complaining about that one. It's been a confident start away from home here from 1860. You can see the effect that 5-0 win at the weekend has had on them. Even just a bit of a relief after that poor run of results leading up to that game. With the long ball there, but cleared by Kaiserslautern. Can they come on the counter-attack though? No is the answer. It's 1860 seeing an awful lot of the ball here early doors. Ball back to Spajic. Field. Looks as though it will come straight back at him as well. Nice one-touch football from 1860 in midfield, and it might break for Mulders here. Looks as though there's an infringement in there somewhere. This Greilinger at the moment is causing all kinds of confusion with his breaks forward. So in fact, it was Kleinsorger with that yellow card earlier on. It could have been a red. The referee letting him off, but in the end, Neudecker not letting off Kaiserslautern as he called in the free kick. We're coming up towards 10 minutes played. It's been a fine start for the visitors. If you're a Kaiserslautern fan, look away now. That's the score already 1-0 against your team. Poirier trying to create something from the right-hand side. And there's the corner for Kaiserslautern. And they do seem to rely on him a lot to both create and finish. So in comes the ball. And it's away by 1860. Now licks back over the top. Reilinger just dragged to the ground there. And it's gone against 1860. Redondo in there competing for the ball and was brought down in the end. To the referee's eye. So another deep free kick here for Kaiserslautern. Need to get this one right. It's towards the edge of the box. It's flicked on, and that will be a corner. And that was much more dangerous from the home side. Just starting to build up a little bit of pressure here on the 1860 defence finally. It's taken quickly, curled in. Once again, 1860 managed to get it clear. This is Zuk to his keeper, Spajic. Oh, Winkler on his debut for Kaiserslautern, of course. Just overdriven there from Spajic. Decided to go long rather than passing it short. And that has increased the pressure on his team. There's a short back pass there coming in. In the end, though, the foul from Lex, as he just saw the opportunity, perhaps on Hlušek, to force more of an error. And he doesn't look too happy, Hlušek. Let's have another look here. There's a challenge from behind. Lex nowhere near the ball. The referee could have been dishing out the yellow card for that, or he might see it as a typical attacker's challenge. Just letting off Stefan Lex. Well, Sabina having his say to the official on the sidelines. Hlušek is okay to continue. As are Kaiserslautern here. They seem to be vulnerable to that little ball over the top, as we saw from Mulders for that free kick, which was eventually banged in by Neudecker. They don't like the ball being played over the top to them. As again, there's a diagonal ball well over the head there of Redondo. Quite got going here, Kaiserslautern. Of course, that early blow of conceding the free kick on 6 minutes would have knocked their confidence, but still trying to recover here. As Kleinsorger can just shepherd that one out. Up against Greilinger. Looked as though Sabina had turned the tide, but that last loss to Unterhaching. And with Kaiserslautern trailing here, the pressure building up already on the whole team down in the relegation zone, although they've got a potential chance here to pull the trigger. It's blocked. Hlušek decides to go back. It's curled back in towards the box here. It's well read by the 1860 defence. The ball for Lex. towards the right now. Good run forward from Wilsch. Neudecker looking to turn on the ball. Couldn't quite get it out of his feet though. As that's well won back by 1860. Good aggressive play from Moll. Talik. And the ball across, it reaches legs. And it's palmed down there by the keeper, Spajic. Well, that was a chance for 2-0. But Kaiserslautern really didn't deal with that ball across at all. No one going to it. Legs read it perfectly. Just tried to get it on target. And luckily for the keeper, it was at the right height for him. And he could react. 15 minutes gone. And this could have been even worse for Kaiserslautern. Spajic comes out and then collides with Mulders. He's okay to continue, the veteran. Let's have another look here. An uncomfortable collision, especially for Mulders. He managed to turn his back before the impact. You see a little ball over the top and Spajic had to come out to deal with it. There's a sweeper keeper. They don't look satisfied with just being one up here. Great confident start from them. Getting the early goal and now trying to build up a cushion. And at 1-0 here at the Betzenberg really isn't enough, even with Kaiserslautern suffering as they are at the moment.
Ja, ich denke, dass 60 wesentlich besser im Spiel ist. Sie sind in den Zweikämpfen viel aggressiver als Kaiserslautern und führen auch jetzt in dem Moment auch zu Recht 1-0. Kaiserslautern bemüht sich zwar, aber sie haben noch keine zwingende Chance sich erarbeitet. Ja, du musst jetzt erst wieder, gerade bei Lautern, erst wieder Stabilität reinbringen. Also sie sind durch das Tor auch ein bisschen verunsichert, das merkt man auch. Das ist nicht so zwingend ihr Spiel und das merkt man bei 60, dass die eben mit dem 5-0 hierher gefahren sind und nutzen das natürlich diese Unsicherheit auch ein Stück weit aus.
This is the worry for Kaiserslautern. Bachmann away. Stefan Lex right in the face there of Luszek, forcing him to get the clearance away quickly. Call for handball there up against Talik, but nothing given by the referee. As the early ball comes in from Steinhardt, perhaps he could have taken it on into the penalty area there before crossing. Just slicing off his boot out of play. Serena certainly looks concerned. With only 18 minutes on the clock. As perhaps this looks a little more promising for Kaiserslautern here. Luszek, though, not strengthened by legs. You wouldn't have expected that. As they come down the left here, 1860, but Steinhardt there on the stretch, unable to take the ball on board. And the Kleinsorger could take possession. Oh, coming up towards 20 minutes played here, and Kaiserslautern just struggling to get a foothold in the game. We see the tackle coming in from Talik. It's been given as a free kick, but there's an 1860 man down here. That's certainly just stretching there on Redondo. This is absolutely lashing it down in Kaiserslautern. That could mean later the pitch slippery, could cause a few worries for the defenders. At the moment the pitch looks in decent condition. As that's flicked on towards the run of Poirier, but that's well read by Hiller, who's barely been tested so far in the game. Looking pretty satisfied on the sidelines, as he might be, the 1860 coach. His team are committed at the moment to trying to make it 2-0. Breaking up the play with challenges like that as well, but Talik's going to have to watch himself. He's made a couple of those niggly little tackles in midfield. Winkler. Rodondo picks it up in his own half. They'll want him rather further up the field, as Winkler tries to pick out a long run here. Flicked on by Hood, looking for Poirier, but too far ahead of the striker. 1860 have looked solid and strong in the challenge as well. In contrast to Kaiserslautern, as Mulders there is looking for another free kick for a shove in the back, but the referee was looking straight at it, ignored his pleas. It's a bit of a short ball. He's certainly sold Lushek short there. Lex comes in and then he's pushed to the ground. And Sickinger with the next yellow card for Kaiserslautern. No doubt about that one. He knew exactly what he was doing, as Bachmann rather played his team into trouble. He's leaning into the attacker there, Lex, and it's another dangerous free kick near the edge of the box, about 25 yards out. More towards the right-hand side. They might look to cross this in. Well, Neudecker might fancy it again from this near side. Moll is also there. Let's have a look what they've got up the sleeve here. It's Moll, who just slipped as he took the direct free kick. Replaces the divot, but it came off the wall last, so another corner for 1860. Next to whip this in. It's a low one, and it comes though off Steinhardt. Out for the goal kick for Kaiserslautern, just to relieve a little bit of pressure. Playing out short again here, Kaiserslautern. I can't help but think that that doesn't really suit their style of play at the moment, given where they are in the league. They need to get it up the field. And with this pressing game from 1860, that might be the wrong idea. Bachmann does pick out this pass to Poirier, who's brought down in his own half. Out towards the left-hand side. That might be just a little bit too far there ahead of Greilinger. Dealt with by Spajic. Redondo. Again for Poirier to hold it up. Looks straight at the referee, expecting a free kick, but doesn't get anything again. As it's expertly controlled by Mulders, and it sets up the next counter-attack here for 1860, looking to deliver it long back to the target man. And Winkler had to deal with it, conceding the corner. He couldn't really leave it. He was heading straight towards Mulders. Another chance here to really test Spajic. Next we'll be looking for a bit of a better delivery than the last corner. 25 minutes played. He comes looking for the same variation. It's cleared to Lex, who is in an offside position. Hadn't quite retreated enough after the ball was returned to him off Steinhardt. Hujek decides not to take the free kick in the end. Spajic there was under pressure from Lex and rather crumbled. Well, perhaps the rain starting to have an effect on the pitch already. We saw Moll slip when he took a free kick a couple of minutes ago, replacing a big dividend. Now the goalkeeper blaming that poor kick on a slip again. We can have all kinds of fun and games later on in this game. Moll just keeping things ticking over for 1860. Always looking forward, 1860. It's quite a contrast to the way the Kaiserslautern are playing at the moment. Kaiserslautern just looking to keep it tight if they can, not open up too much when they go on the attack. 1860 rather more flowing. And that's Hoot just popping the ball off. Sorga looking for the ball in. Lex gets it away eventually, as Bachmann will be under pressure here from Mulders. He's got it safely though back to Spajic. And then the pressure increasing again there on Winkler this time. Well, Lex is doing a tremendous job of pressing. Kaiserslautern get it clear here with the free kick. Well, they're damned if they play it short, they're damned if they play it long. A lot of the time the long balls are returning straight in their direction, Kaiserslautern. This is a hefty challenge coming in there from Rieder. The referee just calling him over for a chat here, nothing more. Well, perhaps the conditions not really helping him there as he slid in. I think that made it look worse than it really was. He was looking for a block rather than a tackle, but the slide, his momentum, take him into the player. Towards the half-hour mark, 1860 looking to make it 2 here. There's a big gap appearing, and just the slip there. It was the perfect ball from Lex towards, I think, Greilinger, and as he got into the penalty area, was unable to keep his feet. That would surely have made it 2 if he could have just made decent contact. Now Luszek back up the other end, and a big let-off there for Kaiserslautern. Can they strike back here as Redondo crosses it in? And It's nodded away brilliantly there by Erdmann. Under pressure. It was an interception he surely needed to make. We've really got a game on our hands now. It's just starting to really open up. And Kaiserslautern with the long throw opportunity. He gets the ball back again, crosses it in, looking for Poirier. Good defending, 1860. Solid as they have been in this opening half hour. And next free kick given away. Of course, Mulders disagrees with the decision. Just catching Kaiserslautern, not too much in it. Can see why he's protesting. But it was a free kick. So next bit of defending here for 1860 to do. This is a dangerous one, and you can see by the way 1860 are defending it. They realise the dangers. The referee here is going to the taker. Redondo with the yellow card, perhaps delaying it too much for his taste. Not too sure about that one. And that's his 4th yellow of the season for Kenny Prince Redondo. Well, that's very strict indeed. So, in it comes again. Next bite of the cherry, punched away. And on the follow-up, a long way out from goal. Deflected well wide on the volley. Hiller doing well there, getting good distance on the punch. And as we see this slip here, Greilinger was absolutely desperate to keep his footing. Tried even to make a diving header in the other direction to try and keep possession, but you can see there it's cutting up badly in the penalty area. The attacking end for 1860. That to their detriment in that case, but of course Kaiserslautern have to attack that end in the second half, and it will only get worse. At the moment, not too much action really happening at the other end, so the other penalty area looking rather fresher. Might just be an advantage for 1860. Keep an eye on that one. And we've had 3 yellow cards so far. Kaiserslautern was lucky not to see red in my eyes for the challenge which gave away the free kick converted by Neudecker. Sickinger and Redondo following him into the book. At the moment 1860 keeping it clean. Despite being more aggressive in the challenge in general. Hard but fair, you might say. More successful at the moment, as that's a lovely challenge by Lex. Just tracking back. Sickinger it was, trying to get away down the left. And they're starting to win a succession of free kicks and corners at least. Kaiserslautern as they look to build up a head of steam coming towards half-time. 12 minutes to go. Redondo again with the delivery away. Bachmann back in. It's a good flick on and, well, almost a mix-up there for Erdmann and his keeper, but they've got away with it. They look quite happy to grab hold of the ball on that occasion. .1860 will be the happier of the two teams at the moment, but Kaiserslautern just get the feeling they're starting to knock on the door. This is Moll. Erdmann. Over the top by Erdmann. Just testing out Winkler again. Perhaps got a little bit much on that back pass. It was difficult for the goalkeeper to deal with, but they've got away with it there, Kaiserslautern. Steinhardt stepping in here to win back the possession. Gets it to Greilinger. Now Talig looking for the cutback. Didn't get much on it. Now the strike comes in, and Mulders reacts, and it's a header off the post and in. 2-0, 1860. A scrappy goal, but it will do for 1860 as they double their advantage. Well, the ball just rolled back here. It's a horrible shot. It skews off the side of the boot. But who's there to react? It's Mulders. He gets his 10th of the season in the Dritte Liga. Terrible effort initially. Turned into the perfect cross. Desperate there from Spajic to try and keep it out, but no chance at all. So with 9 minutes to go before half-time, at the moment 1862 up and cruising away from home at Kaiserslautern. Two of the big teams in this league. And it's 1860 who are flying high. When your luck is out, it's really out. That's what I would say to Jeff Sabina. A wayward shot finding the head of Mulders, who readjusted perfectly to send a header off the post and in to the back of the net. A hat-trick the other day, Mulders, and he's off the mark again today. And he's already got 10 goals this season, and he only got 8 last, so he's maturing like a fine wine, Sascha Mulders. His work rate is something to marvel. That could be a real body blow for Kaiserslautern. Jeff Sabina is really going to have to pick up their heads at half-time. 7 minutes to go before the break. You'd have to say it's a deserved lead as well for 1860. They've looked the more compact side and shown more intent of getting the second goal of the game. Forward from Steinhardt for the Lions. Into the arms, though, of Spajic. So, of course, this is midweek fixtures in the Dritte Liga. And there's more action as well at the weekend. Fixtures really packed in December at this level. Poirier. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, in the last home game, Kaiserslautern were 2 down to Duisburg, another of the big guns in this league, but also down towards the bottom. But in the final seconds, Poirier scored a double to make it 2-2 and get a point out of that game, which could be very important in the scope of the whole season. And they've got to come from 2-0 down again here if they're to get anything out of this one. crunching in on Redondo. Fair challenge. With the challenge there, I barely mentioned him, the attacker for Kaiserslautern. They managed to get him on the ball at all. Redondo deciding to take the ball on. Good confident play from him. Poirier going down and the referee saying no free kick. Did look as though he was caught. As the crossfield ball there is a poor one. They can't get Kleinsauger on it. Well, they need to get him further up the pitch and get some of his quality deliveries in from the right. Just a bit of pressure here. Good pressing from Kaiserslautern, almost forcing the error there from Erdmann. The ball going out of play off Sickinger. Throw up the field. Pushing the back perhaps on legs. No. Again, the referee allowing it to flow. Coming up to the final few minutes of the first half, and it's been a really frustrating one for Kaiserslautern. They've barely got going, really. 1860 on the other hand, coming off the back of that 5-0 win at the weekend, really looking hungry for a result here. 2-0 lead at the moment, given to them from a free kick by Neudecker with only 6 minutes played, and Mulders on 36 with a header off the post. A scrappy goal, but one they will accept very gleefully indeed, and they'll be looking to keep the clean sheet coming into half-time here. Free kick curled in, away again. Just to drift out of play. Good defending from Mulder. Erdmann appreciating that one. He looked far calmer and more in control here, 1860. So 2 minutes to go. Michael Kölner will be just pressing to his team to keep it calm here. Going 2-0 up. We'll go again in the second half. As for Jeff Sabina, well, I'm sure he can't wait to grab hold of his team. Try and wake them up from their slumber here. They have had their bright moments in this first half, but they're few and far between. Suddenly Bachmann decides to fly forward and he's brought down in midfield. And the referee might have to sort something out here. And the players all coming together here. What's the referee going to decide? It's certainly a free kick for Kaiserslautern, as Bachmann looks in a lot of pain, being caught on the ankle by the looks of it. The yellow card is out for the 1860 man. The referee's assistant just coming across for a chat here. Let's have a look. It's Vilsch, who is the 1860 man, down in pain as well. He's back up on his feet. Well, there's a red card. And it looks as though it's gone for Bachmann. Well, I am surprised at that decision. Telling Bachmann to get down the tunnel as we tick over 45 minutes. So not only are Kaiserslautern 2-0 down, they're down to 10 men as well, with their big centre-back Bachmann off here. Straight red. And perhaps from that angle you can see that it is indeed him who's late in with the challenge, not Wilsch, as I thought. Maybe harsh from the referee there. He's out of control. I think that's what the referee doesn't like about it. Let's have a look at the slow-mo. He does stamp down on the ankle. Well, it's a genuine attempt for the ball there, I think. As Kaiserslautern now in all kinds of trouble. 2 down and down to 10 men, goodness me. And 1860 now can really perhaps just pick off the away side in the second half. Kaiserslautern are going to have to completely change their formation and yet at the same time try and get back into the game. As we're going to see another yellow card here, this time for Greilinger. Just stretching in. And we had a let-off earlier on for Kaiserslautern man Kleinsorger. Thought he could have seen red early in the game. The referee handing out a yellow, but then in the end sending Bachmann off right at the end of the first half. Well, it's going to be a very, very interesting second half indeed. Stick with us. This game is far from over as the referee blows the half-time whistle. It's 2-0 to the away team, 1860 Munich. The goal's coming from a Neudecker free kick and Sascha Mulders just before half-time, and then the red card for Bachmann. Will join us in 15 minutes or so to see what other action this game can serve up. Welcome back to the Dritte Liga here. We've got the big game of the midweek fixtures. Kaiserslautern up against 1860 Munich. If you're a Kaiserslautern fan, look away now. It's 2-0 to 1860 at half-time. And Kaiserslautern are down to 10 men as well. So the story of the half. 1860 going ahead early, 6th minute through, free kick from Neudecker, a beautiful one right into the top corner. Mulders increased the lead to 2 on 36 minutes before the controversy, a red card in stoppage time for Bachmann of Kaiserslautern. That means they are going to be struggling in this second half, surely. 1860 cruising through that first half. Kaiserslautern with a couple of bright spots, but not really hurting 1860 enough. Whereas 1860 do look dangerous nearly every time they come forward. So Stickinger has been brought off for Kaiserslautern. Kraus is on at the back. Just a bit of damage limitation there, I feel, from Jeff Sabina. To switch things around with his team 2 down and down to 10 men. Kleinsorger as well being taken off for Hercher. So double change at the break from Kaiserslautern. But will it help them at all to get back into this game? It's a real uphill battle for them. And some good news for Kaiserslautern is that Stefan Lex has been withdrawn by 1860. Dressel on to replace him. Lex was a constant thorn in the side of Kaiserslautern with his pressing. Surprised he's come off. It must be an injury. Perhaps Kulner deciding just to sit back here and hit Kaiserslautern on the break, try and pick them off. interesting half of football here. As Talig takes the ball down the right-hand side, well tackled. And as for the red card for Bachmann, initially I thought it was a free kick for him in the centre of midfield as he broke forward from the back. But the more you see the replay, the worse and worse his challenge gets, as he just miscontrolled the ball as he was bombing forward over the top and right down on the ankle of his opponent Vilsch. Deserved red card, really. It's patient play here from 1860 early in the second half. As it stands there, second in the table. Kaiserslautern still stuck down there in 17th as Steinhardt gets it onto his right and tries to curl it in. Too much on it. Spajic can come and claim. He was not at fault for either of the goals. The free kick was the wall side from Neudecker. Beautifully guided right into the top corner. Did get a hand to it, couldn't keep it out, Spajic. The second, a miscued shot right onto the head of Mulders, who guided it off the post for 2-0. There's another yellow card being flashed here to Kaiserslautern. Their discipline, not the best today. Rieder, now the fourth player for them with a yellow. Sickinger and Kleinsorger, who went off at half-time, were both booked as well. Now Redondo is the only player on with the yellow. It's his fourth of the season, Rieder. Well, coming up towards 5 minutes into the second half, and another free kick here for 1860. It's a long way out. They might just fancy it though. In comes the strike. It's off the two-man wall. Back to Moll. He picks out the pass here for Dressel. Couldn't get past Kraus though. Back towards Mulders. Trying to chest it down towards Moll. He's got away from him as there's a break on here suddenly. The chase there, and Hiller has done fantastically well. Oh, Kaiserslautern in from the halfway line. So alert there. Hendrik Zuck just couldn't quite get the pace to get to the ball first before the keeper. 1860 there, just leaving a huge gap for Kaiserslautern to run into from their free kick. Just a warning sign for them, perhaps. And Steinhardt looks forward again. Spajic away. Throw-in for Hercher. Back to him. And Poirier pulling out to the right-hand side here, doing very well. And eventually his cross, or attempted cross, I should say, blocked by Steinhardt. They need to get Zuck and Poirier more involved in this game. In fact, it's turned out to be a free kick. This is Zuck standing over it. It's Kaiserslautern showing some fight here. It's drifted in. Good shape to it as well, and it ends up on the roof of the net there. Hoot is disappointed with that header. And they really could have done with that flying into the back of the net there, Kaiserslautern. Remember, in their last home match against Duisburg, they were also 2 down right until the death, as Poirier rescued them with a quick fire double. So even with Kaiserslautern down to 10 men, 1860 are not home and hosed here. There's a long ball back over the top. Greilinger getting on the end of it, doing very well to hold it up as well. Now Dressel has got options. Decides to hold the ball. Now to Steinhardt. And what was a promising attack has broken down here, but Steinhardt's got it back again to Dressel, and that's much more direct from him. The cutback and over the bar. Neudecker was just looking at the pitch again there. Perhaps the conditions playing a part, but that's brilliant from Dressel. Yeah, the ball just bobbling up to him. You can see, couldn't control it. Neudecker would have thought he had a tap in there. His eventual effort flying way over the bar. Zug in a more central role, it would seem, to try and get him on the ball more. Done a play by Belka here. Just Sabina obviously having harsh words with his team at half-time, and it seems to have had the desired effect as they've got themselves another corner here. Played in low. Away, but there's no 1860 attackers in that area. And Kaiserslautern going all the way back to Spajic. Kaiserslautern showing some heart here. I feared that they might just roll over and allow 1860 to play, but it's not turned out that way. At least so far, coming up to 10 minutes into the second period. And Belka here. Field now, and it's well dealt with. Looking for Greilinger with that direct ball as much as possible. 1860 trying to utilise his pace rather than the hold-up play of Mulders at the moment. Do have different options in attack, something perhaps they lacked last season. It ends up out of play. Up in his technical area. Sabina still sat on the bench. And goal kick here for Hiller. Moses again looking for the free kick as ever after that aerial challenge. Steinhardt plays the ball forward, but just offside there. Kaiserslautern looking more solid and organised, down to 10 men than they were with 11. It's Winkler. No, he can't get on the end of that ball. That's poor. As I just said, they looked more composed and controlled and organised. They go and do that and give away a sloppy corner, which 1860 will be looking to exploit here. delivery to come in here. Too many Black Lion shirts in there, actually. Deciding to keep it tight. Back out to the taker here. Delivered along the ground and just away by Kaiserslautern. Poirier just struggling. Kept his feet in the end, but the referee deciding there was a free kick in there. So at the moment, 1860 in second spot, 4 points behind leaders Dresden. But it's at the bottom. And Kaiserslautern will be more interested in fourth bottom as it stands. They'll be hoping that results don't go against them in these midweek fixtures. This is a lovely looking ball in, but the finish all wrong. Now perhaps the next chance. It's skewed high and wide from Poirier. Only had 2 bites of the cherry there, and he didn't get either right. He readjusted well, and then just slipping. Well, I mentioned that earlier, that it's going to be a disadvantage for Kaiserslautern in this second half, with the pitch breaking up there in that penalty area. As the corner was given in the end, didn't really see a deflection there. And that for sure is a corner. Redondo trying to fire that one in low. Off the defender last. Towards the hour, and this is far better from Kaiserslautern. Third man away. Red shirts were flying in on it as well. Oh, Hercher, a little bit of space for him. Up to Redondo. Has to cross it in, slipped there as well. And it's one-way traffic at the moment. The 10 men here really putting on a show. Unable to really break 1860 down though, as it stands, and they're always susceptible to a break like this, as Greilinger gets it on the left wing. Just waiting here for the options. Decides to dribble back. I think 1860 quite happy actually with the way this game is going, despite coming under a bit of sustained pressure. They can invite Kaiserslautern onto them at 2 up, and with the one-man advantage, and just wait for their opportunity. Straight back at Kaiserslautern here. Steinhardt again. Neudecker just slipping. Hercher came away with it. Luschek up against Wilsch. Look forward for Luschek again. It's the cross in, and it's again ended up on the roof of the net there. Hoot with the header. Just couldn't quite get above the ball here. Good leap, but he's stretching all the way. And let's have another look at that volley from Poirier. Suggestions that it came off the arm there of the defender. I think that would have been very harsh indeed, the referee giving the corner. There's Poirier earning a free kick there. Dangerous looking position as well. And Belka here coming across and making a block there. this one again. 1860 certainly know that they're in a game. More pressure coming now from Kaiserslautern than in the entirety of the first half, as Hiller comes out and manages to pounce on the ball in the end. He went into traffic and nearly made the error. It's one of his teammates, though, who's bore the brunt of that run out from goal. And it's scrappy from the goalkeeper, but he got away with it. It looks as though he's okay to continue. He was the victim of the challenge from Bachmann at the end of the first half, which resulted in a red card for the Kaiserslautern man. Been in the wars today. So Hiller can get the game started again here. Greilinger just creating a bit of space for himself. Ball in there, an easy one for the keeper Spajic this time. 20 minutes into the second half. And Kaiserslautern, you'd have to say, on top despite being down to 10 men. Sometimes it proves to be this way, that the 10 men put much more into the game than when the team had 11. 1860, on the other hand, probably caught between two concepts here. They're 2 up, they could go for more. Or they can just sit back, soak up the pressure and pick up the 3 points away from home. At the moment, it's the latter that they're being forced to do. Not sure whether that was really their idea, or Kulner's idea. I expect him to make a change sometime soon. Kaiserslautern have bbeen more aggressive in the second half. That's a lovely ball in. And it's a little bit clumsy from the defender. And in the end, it's been given as a goal kick. Wilshere breaking through, not too sure about that one. Wilshere coming in with the challenge. We're midway through the second half now. Remains 2-0 to 1860 as it was at half time, but the flow of the game has completely changed. Of course, don't need to go flying forward in hunt of goals. They've got that 2-goal cushion. We'll be hoping it's enough. Greilinger just miscuing that pass through. Not quite the radar. There's Poirier, lovely from him, but he's challenged by one of 3 players around him. Greilinger then brought down by Zuk. Some activity on the 1860 bench then. Kind of looking just to freshen things up. Steinhardt looks to drive this towards Mulders. It's well dealt with. And Kaiserslautern. Winkler just chesting it calmly back to his keeper. Pressure there on the man on the ball from 1860. Perhaps 1860 just starting to think here with 20 minutes to go. With Kaiserslautern pushing forward, they should go on the attack themselves. Well, that's a lovely ball from Kaiserslautern out to Luszek. He find Redondo, he has done. He's on the run here, gets to the byline. He's got a lot of work to do. And he's got the corner out of it as well. Why didn't they play like this at the start of the game? As you can see how the pitch, at least that on the sidelines, is cutting up, and especially in this penalty area at this end that Kaiserslautern are attacking. It's very tricky underfoot. Corner coming to nothing. Back to Luszek. To lump one forward, up for Kraus. Plenty of red shirts in there, but it's 1860 who get it away. And surely the free kick there. Zook with the shove. And looks as though he's been booked as well, Zook. So Weiner's coming on here for 1860. As I mentioned, fresh legs, and it's going to be Neudecker, the man who scored the first. A terrific free kick on 6 minutes. They've got 1860 going here. He is withdrawn. Oh, how will that change things for 1860? Perhaps they'll be more on the front foot now for the remainder of the game. Certainly they've been more passive in the second half than in the first. Kaiserslautern trying to make it a game of two halves. Zook has to pick out that pass towards the right-hand side, well intercepted. And 1860 could be away here. Steinhardt, though, unable to get past Zook there on the left wing. Boot is now coming off by the looks of it for Kaiserslautern. Röse, who scored against 1860 here last season, is the replacement with 18 minutes to go. And only his fourth appearance of the season for Röse. Back to Hiller here. Really just looking to put a bit of pressure on him, but he's cleared it successfully. Incidentally, Sasha Mulders at the moment hasn't seen the ball in a long, long time. Who scored the second goal for 1860 to really put them in control of the game. Kaiserslautern still seeing plenty of the ball. We might see another grandstand finish here at the Betzenberg should they get a goal in the next 10 to 15 minutes. They really are putting their fans through the ringer at the moment, even over the past few seasons. 1860 know all about that, having been down to the Regionalliga. Looking to work their way back up the system as now Sascha Mulders has a sniff of the ball. He's managed to get on it in the corner. Talig decides to take the effort on there. Over the bar though from all of 25 yards. So 15 minutes to go. 15 minutes to Kaiserslautern to get something out of this game. They'll be desperate for at least a point here, even though they're down to 10 men. They're in the relegation zone and looking really over their shoulder as well at the three teams behind them. 1860 on the other hand, certainly upwardly mobile. Second as it stands. They started this midweek day of fixtures in 5th. They'll be hoping results go their way. It's very tight up there. That's a lovely looking ball over the top here for Redondo. Couldn't quite get onto it though. Moll was there tracking. Kaiserslautern so far this season in the final 15 minutes of games have scored 7 goals. And they need 2 more in that time. This is a clumsy looking challenge coming in. It's going to be the first booking for an 1860 man. It's Vine. Came on as sub a couple of minutes ago. Redondo not being allowed to run down that wing at all, as that's the 6th yellow of the season for Vine. We're just keeping an eye on pushing and shoving in there as the free kick comes in. Hiller comes a long way again and doesn't make any contact this time. Zuk. Perhaps the break here. More able to keep his feet right on the touch line. He's been held up here successfully by Kaiserslautern. Good play by Rieder. They go all the way back to the back line here, 1860. They're not worried about that, as Rieder is then beaten to the ball in defensive midfield. Poirier now looking to pull some strings from midfield, but his misplaced pass there picked up by Steinhardt. Dressel, the crossfield ball towards Sascha Mulders. Men over here for 1860 if they play their cards right. The pace just being taken out of the attack there. Vine just opened up for him there, perhaps to have a shot, decided against it. in now. Kraus away. Well, 1860 coming forward more and more often now as time wears on. Perhaps just sensing that Kaiserslautern are getting too frustrated here. Of course, they are down to 10 men, but they've played well in this second half. Certainly more of a challenge for the 1860 defence in this second period than in the first. It's that statistic in the top left-hand corner which is most important, with 1860 leading by 2-0. Red card as well for Kaiserslautern. Bachmann, a poor challenge right at the end of the first half, meaning a straight red. As Vilsch manages to get it in, the diving header from Mulders, it's 3. Did it just go out of play? No, says the referee's assistant. And while Mulders has been very, very quiet in this second half, but he's come alive there. And the diving header was perfectly directed into the corner of the net. Just over 10 minutes to go here. And it's Kaiserslautern 0, 1863. Vilsch just rather overrunning it. He did keep it in. And it's a fantastic pullback on the stretch. He knows exactly where Mulders is. The perfect ball. Yep, no hint that it went over the line. And that's another 2 tonight for Sascha Mulders. It's now 5 in 2 after the hat-trick at the weekend. 11th of the season. And well, now you can say 1860 have got the points in the bag. There's no way that Kaiserslautern are coming back from this. 10 minutes to go, down to 10 men. And surely completely demoralised. If Sabina is really going to have to pick them up for the next match. End. The tactics paying off perfectly for Michael Körnler and his team as they sat back, soaked up the pressure from Kaiserslautern, and then just a couple of minutes ago started to really push forward again themselves to kill off Kaiserslautern. And with 10 minutes to go, it's their man Mulders who has done just that. Sure that Kaiserslautern would prefer the full-time whistle to go now in case it gets any worse for them. 1860 on the other hand, improving still further on their excellent away record. And a clean sheet away from home at the Betzenberg would be very welcome indeed. A huge confidence boost. Despite the low standing of Kaiserslautern at the moment, they are one of the big guns. You feel they should be even in the Bundesliga with the infrastructure that they have, the stadium, the fans. Things just going against them of recent times though. So there's going to be another change here for 1860 late on. Just over 7 minutes to go. So a little bit of experience for the 17-year-old Knofel coming on. Looks as though it's Greilinger being withdrawn. Excellent in the first half of his off-the-ball running. see what Knorfeld can do here. Second appearance of the season for the youngster. Excellent opportunity for Kölner to bring the youngster on here. The team cruising at 3-0 up at Kaiserslautern. This all stems from that first half performance from 1860. They overwhelmed Kaiserslautern. Gave them the platform for this second half, just to take their foot off the gas against the 10 men before breaking forward and scoring another fine goal through Sascha Mulders. Certainly the pick of the goals, though, that first Neudecker with the free kick over the wall, under the bar and in. Second goal rather scrappier. Sascha Mulders, the third goal. A beautiful finish, a great cutback from Wilsch, as it looked as though he'd overrun it, but no chance of that. Kept it in, kept his composure, found Mulders, and he did the rest with the diving header. As here they come again. And it's away in the end by the goalkeeper Spajic. Steinhardt, though, picking it up, finding Knorfeld. Ball in, volleyed away. They just can't get out at the moment, Kaiserslautern. It really has just clicked into place for 1860 this evening and at the weekend. Not only getting the performance the Kölner was looking for, but also the goals. 8 now for them in nearly 2 games. Erdmann. I think the Kölner will be just as pleased with this second half performance in a way as he would have been with the first. His team given a different kind of test, and they've passed it with flying colours, showing patience. Now, 1860 just playing keep ball out the back. No need at all to go forward again. They are second in the table, just behind Dynamo Dresden, who are winning 4-1 at the moment against Ferl. Kaiserslautern, on the other hand, 17th. And depending on results, could even go bottom. Dear oh dear, if the results go against them. It would be absolutely disastrous for Jeff Sabina and the team. It is tight in the league. They have won tonight, they could have even gone as high as 13th. But to no avail. Suffering a 3-0 home defeat as it stands. So 2 minutes to go. 2 more minutes of misery for Kaiserslautern, unfortunately. The first half performance from them doing for them. Started badly with that goal after 6 minutes from Neudecker with the free kick. And it got steadily worse as the game went on. Mulder's adding a second on 36. And then the real killer blow for them. In time added on, Bachmann being shown a straight red card, the central defender, for a poor challenge from him in midfield. A deserved red card. Didn't think so at the time, but the more I see it, the worse it gets. And that put them in a really horrible position for the second half. And so it's proved, as they really showed heart for the first half hour or so of this second period. But they were picked off by Sascha Mulders, combining with Wilsch, who cut the ball back to him from the byline. And an emphatic diving header made it 3-0. As we're into the final minute of the 90, Zuck takes it on, and that's a tremendous effort late on here. Oh, just a little bit of panic for the goalkeeper Hiller there. He's a long, long way out. We know he has the quality to do that, Zuck, but not finding the target on this occasion. I wouldn't have thought there'll be too much time added on at the end of this game. Perhaps a minute or two. As Hiller gets it away. Hiller will be desperate to keep it. Has a clean sheet here, away from home. 1860 today, proving why they have the best attack in the league at the moment. As just over the 90 minutes played, and that is the final score, and you can see what it means to Erdmann there. That 3-0 win for 1860 away at Kaiserslautern. A big, big 3 points for them, and a big defeat for Jeff Sabina and Kaiserslautern. Down to 10 men for the second period, and 1860 didn't let up, scoring 10 minutes from the end to kill them off. And that's a great result for them. Well, thanks very much for joining us for that Dritte Liga game. Of course, you can join us at the weekend for more of the action. Thanks very much. Have a nice evening, and goodbye.